We all know this person. Maybe it's your coworker, the one who is visibly drowning in deadlines but swats away your offer to help with a tight smile, saying, "I've got it." Maybe it's your friend, the one struggling through a brutal breakup, who insists they're fine and just need to stay busy. Or maybe, if you're being truly honest, this person is you. We live in a culture that worships this image. We call it strength, we call it resilience, independence, self-reliance. In the American ethos, the self-made individual, the rugged individualist who pulls themselves up by their own bootstraps, is the pinnacle of success. We admire them, we envy their seemingly unbreakable fortitude. But what if this isn't strength? What if this rigid refusal to ask for help, this compulsive need to do it all alone, isn't a fortress of confidence, but a prison built from fear? This isn't healthy independence. It's a psychological defense mechanism, a trauma response known as hyper-independence. And for the millions of people trapped inside it, it is a profoundly lonely and exhausting way to live. In this video, we will deconstruct the myth of total self-reliance. We will explore the deep psychological roots, the childhood conditioning, the hidden fears that make two simple words, "help me," feel impossible to say. And finally, we will uncover the devastatingly high price of this so-called strength and explore the path to a more connected, authentic way of being. Let's begin. Our stories are saturated with the myth of the lone wolf. The hero's journey is almost always a solo one. We're taught that needing others is a liability, that dependence is a dirty word, synonymous with weakness or incompetence. This narrative is particularly potent in Western, individualistic societies. The message is clear: your success is your own, and so is your failure. But this myth has one fundamental flaw. It is a biological and sociological lie. Humans are not, and have never been, a species of lone wolves. We are a species of deep, profound, and necessary interconnection. Look at our closest primate relatives. Look at our own evolutionary history. Our superpower as a species isn't our claws or our fangs. It's our ability to cooperate. It's interdependence. From the moment we are born, we are in a state of total dependence. Our survival relies on connection. This need doesn't just vanish when we turn 18, it simply matures. This is where we must draw a critical distinction: the difference between healthy independence and compulsive hyper-independence. Healthy independence is rooted in self-esteem. It's the confidence of knowing you are capable. It's the ability to self-regulate, to solve problems, to take responsibility for your actions. A healthily independent person can do things on their own, but they also have the self-awareness and security to ask for support when they need it. Their sense of self isn't threatened by collaboration. Hyper-independence, on the other hand, is rooted in fear and mistrust. It is a rigid, compulsive avoidance of relying on anyone for anything. It's not a choice, it's a compulsion. It's the person who would rather break than bend. The person who would rather fail silently than succeed with help. A healthily independent person says, "I can do this." A hyper-independent person says, "I must do this, alone." This compulsion isn't a personality quirk. It is an echo. It is a survival strategy forged in a past where, for them, relying on others was not just disappointing, it was dangerous. To understand the hyper-independent adult, we must first meet the child they used to be. This armor isn't manufactured, it's grown, layer by layer, over a bedrock of painful experience. Before we dig in, it's useful to distinguish between two related terms: hyper-independence and counterdependency. Hyperindependence is most often a trauma response. It's a reactive, often unconscious shield. The core belief is, I cannot let anyone in. It is not safe. The world is unreliable, and I am the only one I can count on. It is a shield born of necessity. Counterdependency is a more proactive resistance. It's a conscious, or semi-conscious, choice to push against the very idea of needing anyone. The core belief is, I will not be weak. I refuse to be in a position where I am beholden to someone else. It is a sword, actively keeping intimacy at bay. While psychologists can debate the nuances, both patterns result in the same behavior, a stubborn refusal to ask for help, and both often stem from the same set of deep developmental roots. The first and most common root is childhood conditioning, often in the form of what therapists call parentification. This happens when a child is forced to take on the emotional or practical roles of an adult long before they are ready. Perhaps they had a parent who was physically or emotionally absent. Perhaps they had to care for a parent struggling with addiction or mental illness. Or perhaps they were simply the responsible one in a chaotic household, the one who had to mediate fights, make dinner, and ensure the homework got done. This child learns a set of brutal lessons. My needs are a burden. No one is coming to take care of me. If I show vulnerability, if I cry or complain, it only makes things worse. I must be the strong one. I must be the giver. I must rely only on myself. This isn't a thought, it's an operating system. This child's nervous system is rewired. Their survival depends on not needing, not asking, not receiving. When this child grows up, they don't simply discard this system. It becomes their identity. They become the hyper-capable adult who is a rock for everyone else, but who is fundamentally incapable of letting anyone be a rock for them. This leads directly to the second root, a profound fear of vulnerability. To the hyper-independent person, asking for help is the ultimate act of vulnerability, and vulnerability is synonymous with danger. To ask for help is to admit, I am not in control, I am not perfect, I have limitations, I am human. For someone whose entire sense of self and safety is built on the facade of being invulnerable, this admission feels like ego death. It's not just uncomfortable, it feels life-threatening. They believe that if they expose their soft underbelly, the world will attack. They will be judged, ridiculed, or seen as weak and incompetent. In their mind, the strength they project is the only thing keeping them safe. To let it drop, even for a moment, is to invite the very chaos they've spent their entire lives trying to manage. Closely tied to this is the third root, a paralyzing fear of rejection. What if they finally muster the courage to ask, and the other person says no? Or perhaps worse, what if they say yes, but with a sigh? What if they do it grudgingly, or make them feel like a massive inconvenience? To a person with a secure attachment, this rejection is a minor sting. Oh, okay, I'll ask someone else. But to the person with roots in hyper-independence, this rejection is catastrophic. It is a core-level confirmation of their deepest, darkest belief. See, I knew it. I am alone. My needs are too much. I was a fool to even ask. The shame and pain of this potential rejection are so acute that it is, in their calculation, infinitely safer to just not ask at all. The internal slogan becomes, you can't be let down if you never lean on anyone. By doing it themselves, they remain in control. They protect themselves from that primal wound of rejection. The fourth root is the fear of indebtedness. Hyper-independent people often see relationships in highly transactional terms. There is no such thing as a free lunch. If they accept help, they are now in debt to that person. This debt feels suffocating. It creates a power imbalance that they cannot tolerate. Their mind races with anxious questions. What will they want in return? When will they hold this over my head? How can I repay this debt as fast as possible to make things even again? This fear of being beholden, of being controlled or manipulated, is a direct threat to their autonomy. They would rather suffer the private, predictable pain of exhaustion than enter the complex, unpredictable social contract of mutual obligation. They prefer the cleanliness of doing it themselves. Finally, there is the powerful root of past trauma and betrayal. This is for the person who did try. They did trust. They were vulnerable. And they were deeply, profoundly burned. Perhaps they relied on a partner who abandoned them at their lowest point. Perhaps they confided in a friend who used that vulnerability as a weapon. Perhaps they asked a parent for help, only to be met with ridicule or punishment. The brain, in its brilliant and protective way, learns a simple, powerful lesson. Trust leads to pain. Reliance leads to ruin. Never again. The walls that go up after a betrayal are not thin drywall. They are reinforced steel. The "I'll do it myself" mantra is no longer just a habit, it is a vow. It is a post-traumatic survival imperative, a scar tissue shield that says, "I will never, ever give anyone the power to hurt me like that again." We are about to explore the devastating cost of living this way. If this exploration of the hidden side of our psychology resonates with you, and you want to continue learning how to understand yourself and others better, please take a moment to subscribe to our channel. Your support allows us to create more deep dive content just like this. This strategy of total self-reliance, there it seems to work. The hyper-independent person is often highly successful. They are the high achiever, the reliable friend, the pillar of their family. But this armor is not weightless. The cost of wearing it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, for decades, is devastating. The first and most obvious price is chronic burnout. The human body and mind are not designed for perpetual, unsupported struggle. They are finite resources. The hyper-independent person is in a constant state of high alert, running on adrenaline and willpower. This inevitably leads to physical, mental, and emotional exhaustion. Headaches, insomnia, anxiety, depression, chronic fatigue. They are running a marathon every single day, and they refuse every water bottle offered from the sidelines. Eventually, the body and mind will cash the check. They don't just burn out, they collapse. The second price is a profound, unspeakable loneliness. This is the tragic irony of hyper-independence. In their quest to protect themselves from being hurt or abandoned by others, they engineer their own isolation. They may be surrounded by people, they may be liked, admired, and respected, but no one truly knows them. No one gets past the wall. By never showing a crack, by never admitting a need, they deny anyone the chance to truly connect with them. They build walls, not bridges. They have admirers, but no confidantes. They perform relationship instead of participating in it. And in the quiet moments, in the space between all their frantic doing, the loneliness is a deafening roar. This leads to the third price, shallow and unfulfilling relationships. True human intimacy is not built on shared strengths. It is built on shared vulnerability. Think about your closest relationships. They were likely forged not when things were perfect, but when things were hard, when you helped them or when they helped you, when you saw their flaws and they saw yours, and you both decided to stay. The hyper-independent person blocks this. They are always the giver, never the receiver. This creates a massive imbalance. Their friends and partners feel it. They may feel useless, kept at arm's length, or that they are the only messy one in the relationship. You cannot be truly close to someone who is performing perfection. The connection, therefore, can only ever be surface level. And finally, there's a bitter, paradoxical twist: resentment. The hyper-independent person, the one who has stubbornly refused every offer of help, will eventually look around their self-built fortress and think, "Why am I the only one doing anything? Why does nobody ever step up for me? It must be nice to have people you can count on." They become resentful of the very isolation they themselves have so carefully engineered. They resent others for not breaking through the walls that they made impenetrable. It's a painful, self-perpetuating cycle. They feel alone, which proves their belief that they must be alone, which drives them to further isolation, which deepens their feeling of being alone. If you are watching this and you recognize yourself, if you feel that ache of exhaustion and loneliness, the first thing you must know is this: you are not broken. This is not a character flaw. Your hyper-independence is a testament to your resilience. It is a brilliant survival strategy that your mind and body created to get you through a time when the world felt unsafe. It is an old, rusted suit of armor. It did protect you. It did keep you alive. But now it is too heavy. It is keeping you from breathing, and it is no longer serving you. The path out is not a dramatic event. It is a slow, gentle practice. It is not about shattering the armor, but about learning to unlatch it piece by piece. It starts with awareness. Just watching this video, just giving a name to this pattern, is a monumental first step. You are no longer unconsciously acting, you are observing. Then, you must start small. You cannot go from "I do everything alone" to "please help me move my entire apartment." The nervous system will panic. You must practice what you might call microdosing vulnerability. Ask for a tiny bit of help, a low-stakes, low-risk request. "Could you tell me what time it is? Could you hold the door for me? Hey, can I get your opinion on this email before I send it?" These small reps build a new muscle. They teach your nervous system in tiny, manageable doses that you can ask for something and the world doesn't end. The person doesn't reject you. You don't lose your autonomy. As you do this, you must consciously reframe vulnerability. This is the great work. You must untangle the lie that vulnerability equals weakness. Vulnerability is not weakness. It is the prerequisite for connection. It is the birthplace of intimacy, trust, and joy. It is, as the researcher Brené Brown says, our most accurate measure of courage. It takes no courage to put up a wall. It takes immense courage to show a crack. True strength is not the ability to carry the entire world on your shoulders. True strength is not pretending you don't have needs. True strength is knowing your limits, honoring your humanity, and having the profound courage to look at another person and say, "I can't do this by myself. Can you help me?" That is not the moment you become weak. That is the moment you finally become free. This is a difficult journey, and it's one that many of us are on. We would love to hear your story. What is one small step you've taken or could take to practice asking for help? Share your experience in the comments below. You'd be surprised how many people are feeling the exact same way.